Right. I hope the online participants also could see the screen. So we discussed several things up to now. What were the things we discussed? First of all, we discussed the difference between the macro environment and the micro environment. Right? We discussed the difference between macro environment as well as the micro environment. Right? This we discussed. So that's why some people are looking at me like they are hearing this for the first time in their lives. So that's why I don't like that point of do online lecture because no one is engaged. The reality is that no one that much gets engaged. They try to listen and not to listen, and they do all other activities and quite a lot of distraction. So therefore, yes, indeed, we discussed there are two environments an organization would face. One is the immediate environment, which is known as what? What's the immediate environment? What's the immediate environment? The micro environment. Micro environment is the immediate environment of an organization. The immediate environment. Right? Now, for example, let's try some new things. Right. Let's take this example and see if there is. Now, if we take this to organization, the entity. Right. The immediate environment is known as what? The micro environment. It's called the micro environment. Then the extended environment that impacts almost all organizations, right, in the country. It's known as what? The macro environment. The large environment. Now the question is, what are the elements? What are the elements? Elements of the micro. Very good. I'm getting down. Put all that. There's some actual customers. Put all. Someone indeed told it, isn't it? So customers, yes, they are elements. Who is? Elements of the micro. This is what we spoke about. There was one micro. Who is? The employees. And particularly, you are forgetting a very important micro environment for their customers. So usually these other markets will be for a digital business strategy. These parties will be important as micro. What are the micro elements? The customers, suppliers, competitors, and dealers. So those four parties would be really important when it comes to micro environmental elements. Customers, suppliers, dealers, as well as who? Competitors. Those are the for a digital business. Of course, you can take other, parties as well as your shareholders and employees. But for a digital business, more important is those parties as micro environmental elements. So you can take down notes, right? You can take down notes. Who's going to finish? Who's going to read it? So in the lecture, I think you so when you find something interesting when the lecture is repeating again and again, something really important. For the examination purposes, perspective particular. So I'm giving a revision each day. I will give you a revision of what we discussed on the earlier. That will help you to understand what to focus for the execution purposes. Okay. Micro environmental factors for elements, you could say customers, suppliers, competitors, and leaders. Right? Those are the parties who are involved, right, in the micro environment. Micro. Then we can take the wider environment that is impacting almost all organizations in the country. That is known as what? What are the factors we consider? What are called? Pestle factors. Pestle factors. So pestle factors, literally, you also named that very correctly. What are the pestle factors? The political, legal, technological, environmental, those factors, social factors. And we even took SAP campus as an example, and we understood what are the pestle factors, isn't it? Did you take SAP as an example? Yes, indeed. Some people say yes. Some people are looking at me like they heard sector first of all, right, in their lives today. No, we discussed that yesterday. How pestle factors are impacting itself. Political environment, legal environment, like for example. Then I was teaching you to analyze the micro environment. There's a tool that you could use. What's the tool? No, it can be publicly. It's all bad. So, what is to analyze the micro? We discussed this yesterday. Yes, very good. Fortan stands for what? To analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So yesterday also I told you the difference between those two sets. Strengths, weaknesses, that's one set, then opportunities and threats. What's the difference? Strengths, weaknesses are something to do with internal resources. Internal. Threats and weaknesses are something outside. Now later I will teach you there's another analysis called house analysis. TOWS analysis. I'll teach you that later. So today, right, I'm reminding you that what we discussed yesterday, that's Fortan. House analysis, I'll teach you that later. What's house analysis? Again, you use the SWOT, right, as a strategy tool. So that's to analyze what? The micro environment. Then also I told you there are other factors that you could use, other tools that you could use to analyze the macro environment. Like what? The macro environment analysis tools are what? What did I told you? What's that? Pestle analysis. And also I told you another powerful tool to analyze the macro environment. What's that? Very good. What's the very most correct one? What's it? Porter's 5 process model. Using Porter's 5 process model, what do we analyze? We'll ask some other students. Yes, very good. I'm getting now. What do we analyze using Porter's 5 process model? What do we? Market, the industry, company. So yesterday, again we used Porter's 5 process model to understand the competitiveness of that industry as a piece of we are going to, yes, five competitive environment that we are. We took each element, the 5 forces, and we understood the competitive. Low to high. We ranked the competitiveness now from low to high. We understood, yes, majority came to moderate to high competitive. Bargaining power of buyers. What were the buyers of set? What are the buyers of set? You are the buyers. We don't call you the buyers or the customers. We told, okay, you are the people who are the recipients of the services of set. Like we don't call you customers. We call you under. You are the buyers. So we understood your bargaining power is quite high. Then bargaining power of suppliers. Likewise, we understand the bargaining power of each element, each five elements. We understand. So we discuss those things systematically. Any question? So crystal factors, crystal analysis, import factors, and Porter's 5%. We discussed these. I'm just reminding. So these what we call the 5 model. So we have 5 forces. Threat of new entrants. Threat of new entrants. In terms of set, what do you mean by threat of new entrants? Yesterday I thought that from my own mouth. Again, okay. I told that it's my own mouth. When it comes to set, what do you mean by threat of new entrants? Thank you very much. That's more important. That's what people should say. What is the domain? But people who enter into the education industry, fresh, new. Another campus, another foreign or local campus, a private one, entering into the Sri Lankan market. It's called a fund. It can be a foreign private university, or it can be a local private. So the education sector. Government universities are out of it because we don't charge it, we don't have direct competition. We have competition with other private companies. So threat of event is not that. And we understood that threat is quite high. But what's our main advantage? What's our weapon against that? What's the SAP's weapon to attack that document? To the director has history. It's also in the fourth of the CA brand name. The CA brand, is it? So no one can be, although others could come to the market, no one can claim what? The CA name. So SAP is offered by CA Sri Lanka. CA Sri Lanka is what? It's just another organization in this country, no? What that? The premier national accounting and auditing standard setter. And its degree is offered by that organization. So no other private university or private entity could claim that kind of, but that kind of value. Right? That's what we call the unique value proposition. That's our unique value proposition when it comes to that. You can understand that. That's our competitive. So threat of new entrants, we don't that much care about it because we have that advantage. Likewise, we were discussing all these things. Then bargaining power of buyers, that's your fault. Then threat of substitute products. Then I was telling you, we have different substitutes to this degree. I was explaining to you, it's my own perception. Can we treat CA qualification or ACCA or CIMA or CMA qualification as substitute of this degree? Cannot. No. I don't think those are. For me, a professional qualification is what? A substitute or a computer. A substitute or computer. Do it both. Always I advise my students, you all, to both get a degree plus a professional qualification. And you can easily get what? The CA qualification by getting it. Is it? So therefore, such students, you all will have to do what? Get that qualification. Be a chartered accountant plus a certificate. Certificate plus a chartered accountant. It's complete. Why? Why do I say it's complete? In a degree program, you'll be taught why you do things, the logic as well as how you do it. But in a professional qualification, the main thing is there to teach how to do things. How to keep the double entries, how to prepare financial statements, etc., etc. How? Only the how aspect is treated. But only in a degree program, you'll be taught why you do certain things. Reason, the logic behind why you do things, as well as the application. So I see those complementary items, complementary services. So therefore, so who are our competitors? Who are our substitutes? What's our so this degree for this big program? What are the substitutes? What are the substitutes? Any other organization, private university that offers what? A similar qualification, a similar degree program. Accounting finance degrees are offered by other entities. So those are our substitutes. It can be foreign or it can be local. Foreign universities also now, Monash and other universities are also offering those kind of degrees online as well as. Right? So it can be substitutes for us. So we understood that as well. Then bargaining power of suppliers. Who are the suppliers? Lecturers plus other what? Utility providers. Like electricity board is also a supplier for this. And IT services providers, those are also suppliers of such category. So we understood very nicely how we could apply the Porter's 5 process model to what? To CSA. That's CSA. So we discussed that as well. And some people have no clue what we discussed, although there were almost 50 plus students yesterday. So that's why take part actively. Take part actively. And I'm not going to have any physical assessments or online assessments when I do online. This one is not fair because I find that some students are unable to take part because of their work commitments and other things that we are meeting physically. So why we should bother our students with those things? So we have a lot of assessments. Today also we'll see if they are going to have assessments. Today there was some kind of belated commencement of the lecture because of the earlier lecture was taking more time than expected. So usually I come to the lecture 10 minutes before and I came there and I saw that it's still going on. Then after about 15 minutes, 17 minutes. Also think body right, body 17 minutes in the on So intervention. I don't like to disturb someone doing the lecture, doing a lecture. But on the other hand, I also have to start my lecture and also I have to give you some kind of break. Because 3 p.m. you have to finish and then at least 15 minutes break. So that's why it's interview. So not a big deal because it's also one of my students, so they are both. It was fun. It's fun. Okay. So this is again that explains these dynamics. And then I told you a very, very important concept. I told you that will be directly tested at the exam. 3 things: disintimidation, reintimidation, and one third, countermediation. We'll start with the first one. What is it? No, it's not bad. saying it's a bad word. I don't be after the talk. Well, this is good. So what's the situation? You remove certain intermediaries, right, from the, now you have the items delivered from the producers to the customer. Then when products or services are delivered from the producer to the customer, there are certain parties involved. We call that what? Intermediary. Now say for an example, here you can say, I think farmers from your area. Now the farmer in your area produces, of course, the crops and then gives that to a wholesaler and then it comes to a retailer and only the consumers get it. Now who are the intermediaries? What are the intermediaries? There are two kinds of intermediaries there. Wholesalers and retailers. Wholesalers purchase in bulk and then sell that to, it's a B2B transaction, business to business transaction. The wholesalers. Then it's sold to retailers and retailers sell those vegetables, let's say, to the consumer. So that's the usual way, right, that works. But then what we can do is, if we are clever enough, we can remove one intermediate out of it. Why we should remove an intermediate? Is it good to remove an intermediate? Yes. Because why? Because if not, they will add a margin for themselves. Because they also incur costs, so they will add a margin and the prices go up and we have to pay their cost. The intermediaries also add a margin. For an example, when it comes to vegetables, they will buy a kilo of, let's say, I don't know, pumpkin for just 10 rupees from the producers, from the farmers, and sell it to retailers at sometimes 100 rupees. So they keep a margin of 90 rupees per kilo. Then retailers, what they do is they again keep about 50 rupees and you sell that item, a pumpkin, a kilo of pumpkin, to whom? To the consumers at 150. So if you remove the intermediary, let's say if you remove both intermediaries, how much you can save? A huge amount you can save. The customers could get that item at a very low cost. So these intermediaries keep a great margin. That's why we need to remove them. We should remove them, then we can make the system more efficient. That much has happened to paddy as well as rice in Sri Lanka. Who is having the greatest margin? Who is making money out of it in Sri Lanka? Nipuna and Ratna. Right? Okay, and others are having a huge margin. Of course, they buy the paddy and they convert it to what? Rice. But then they keep a huge margin and sell it to us. And they have billions of rupees with them. They have helicopters to travel. They have helicopters to travel. It's okay to earn money. But in Sri Lanka, what's a staple food? Rice is staple food. So by earning that extraordinary profits from that, I don't know how we can justify it. Of course, we have to pay people for the value addition they make, converting paddy to rice, of course, and then distributing that within Sri Lanka. But the government has not done that yet, and the current government is trying to do that. But you can see it's not done. It was done by this intermediaries. Intermediaries maintain huge margins, so the consumers are at a disadvantage. The producers are at a disadvantage. So what we should do is intermediate. Remove the intermediaries. So how can we do that? Applying digital business strategies. Now earlier, when Dell wanted to sell its computers, it had to use wholesalers and retailers. And as customers, we had to buy from retailers or sometimes wholesalers in bulk. But then they removed the intermediaries entirely. How? How is that? I told you how to do it. By selling directly selling from their website. Customer could go and buy a Dell laptop from their website. So you don't need wholesalers, you don't need retailers. So if there's an arrangement, for an example, let's say the rural farmers, right, maybe their farming organization has a website where customers could directly buy from there. That's great. No retailers, no wholesale. In fact, the government, right, the early government tried to do that. They tried to cut off the intermediaries, particularly these wholesalers, to bring buy items from these poor farmers at a very low price, and then keep huge margins and give it to the retailers. The retailers also keep a margin and give that to the customer. So the earlier government, what they did was they arranged a separate train service. So I could remember it was Mr. Bandhu Gunawardhan. Actually, he's Dr. Bandhu Gunawardhan. So Dr. Bandhu Gunawardhan, at that time, he was the trade minister or some different ministerial portfolios were there. So what he did was he arranged a train service directly from rural area to Manimar. No intermediaries, directly you get the items here. And customers could go to many market and purchase at a very low cost. So I could still remember Mr. Bandhu Gunawardhan taking the train from Colombo to Nore. How many times the train operates? Either it was a train in Hila. That was the only way the train entered. Did not happen. No one knows what happened. Probably, maybe in some other country, what could have happened? I don't know. Not in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, our politicians are impeccable, honest people with highest integrity. But in certain other countries, it might be the case. The intermediaries might have paid a huge sum to the ministry and stopped the trade. In some other countries. But in Sri Lanka, I think the train broke down. You know, in trains that the wheels are pulang yaran. So sometimes the wheels got, deflated and things like that. The train stopped. So that's what happened. So that's the repercussions of having a lot of intermediates. The prices goes up and a lot of inefficiencies are being introduced. The customers as well as the producers, the farmers have to face negative consequences. The farmers don't get at least their cost recovered, and the consumers have to pay an exorbitant price for vegetables and others. So that's why we have to always cut down or cut off the intermediate, the middleman. We call this middleman, including women as well, middleman. So we call it middleman or middlewomen. And then we have to cut off and directly to sell that to the consumer. Is it possible? Yes. Then did that. Why? They cut off the intermediaries, and now you can directly buy items from whom? From this. You don't need any intermediaries to do that. So that's called what? Disintimidation. Disintimidation. Is it clear? Simple concepts. Again, with digital business strategies, these are made possible. So that's what we are learning in this subject. How we can be more efficient. Then I talk to the next concept, which is called re-intimidation. Let's see, let's ask my good students what re-intimidation. Yeah, for people at the back there. What to the read? Yes. Right, I think that thing, yes, that's what it really is. Literal meaning. Yes, right. You are adding back. Yes, that's the intimidation, but you are adding back more sophisticated expression. The example which I gave was what? That will clarify the entire. The intimidation. Facebook advertising. Let's say SAP is advertising, let's say, not from that. So long back, SAP was advertising, it doesn't advertise itself, right? They are advertising it. Right? So usually when a business or an organization and education institute wants to advertise, they will publish an ad there in the newspaper. Print media. So that's happened. So you go to a third party advertiser, right? And you pay them and they will give you advertisement and they publish it in the printed newspaper. So if you're an intermediary, yes, the third party advertiser. So it's an intermediate. The intermediary indeed. Disintermediation would mean you remove that intermediary, yes. But then you re-intermediate as well. Re-intermediation would, right, just as she told very correctly, you will introduce a new intermediary, but not that print media. You will now advertise using a Facebook advertising, a social media advertising, a more sophisticated, relevant intermediary will be. That's called re-intermediation. Rather than a traditional intermediary, now you are using whom? A more sophisticated, relevant, modern market to market your products. So that's called what? Re-intermediation. Right? You are not going to use the old intermediaries. You are going to remove them and you are going to have what? Better intermediaries. Re-intermediation. So the example that I told was traditional intermediaries versus sophisticated but expert intermediaries. Traditional print media versus social media marketing. That's what I call re-intimidation. The example which I gave for re-intimidation. Right? Is it clear? Right. Then the third concept was what? Counter-mediation. The third concept that I taught was counter-mediation. What's counter-mediation? Yeah, maybe know. You know the technology for what's the background? I think intermediary. I think what's the background? Sorry. What's complicated? What complicated? Complication means you establish, of course, complication means you are the kind of intimidation. But the difference is you are going to have your own subsidiary as an so on right? The third part now in re-intimidation, now earlier I told you that you are going to use what? Facebook market, a social media market for marketing purpose. But it's the third party. But let's say you purchased that Facebook market, you acquired that social media market, right? You acquired it. Now it's your own subsidiary. And now you get your advertisements done, marketing done. So counter-mediation means you establish your own intermediary, maybe by acquisition or by page. You can create your own company, a subsidiary for your marketing purpose or whatever other purpose. Under re-intimidation, you are using a third party. Under counter-mediation, you are using your own subsidiary, either by acquisition or by page. That's called re-intimidation. That's called counter-mediation. Intimidation is you are using third parties, more sophisticated ones. Counter-mediation means you establish your own subsidiary as your intermediary. Okay, so that's what we discussed yesterday. And then I asked to apply that to SAP. Did we apply that to SAP? Yes. At the exam, you'll be asked to do that as well. You'll be given a scenario. I'll show you a past paper later. You'll be given a scenario, a case study, a 1 page, 1.5 pages case study, and then you'll be asked to explain how these three concepts could be applied into that scenario. Pre-interpretation, counterpretation, as well as what? Disinterpretation. We apply that to simultaneously. Disinterpretation, counterpretation, as well as what? We apply that. For example, disinterpretation. Maybe those days, maybe SAP used some third-party agencies to acquire students. Maybe. Now they don't do that. We directly market by ourselves. Excellent marketing manager, who does an excellent work. Those days we use third-party marketers. So now we are using our own market. That's why that's the marketing division. We have separate marketing division. So what's that? Disinterpretation or interpretation? Disinterpretation. Now we no longer use third parties to acquire students. In earlier, we used for our advertising purposes print media, newspaper advertisements. We use that to the extent, but let's say we are now not using that. We are using what? Social media. Right? We are using social media marketing by, let's say, a third party. A third party advertising agency is there, let's say, to advertise. And that third party advertiser is using social media advertising. That's what. Then, third thought, now we don't need to have that third parties. Let's acquire that third party advertiser. And now it's a subsidiary of SAP. They must have contact. So we explained that. I explained that just how you can apply these three concepts into SAP. Why I'm taking SAP? Because that's very close to our hearts, isn't it? SAP is very close to our hearts. Because we are now sitting on SAP. So any questions? Automation, you create a new interface. You acquire by acquisition or complete new creation. Now let's come to business model. Please take down business model. Business model. Business model. Please take down the topic business model. And within that, take down BMC. BMC. Business canvas model. BMC. Business canvas. Within brackets say business canvas model. Business canvas model. BMC. Business canvas model. Or business model canvas. BMC. Business model canvas. BMC. I will protect my heart. Okay, what's the business model? Right, first of all, let's try to understand what's the business model. A business model explains how value is created and delivered. Right? How value is created and delivered. That's what a business model explains. How value is created and delivered. So it explains what are the inputs, the process that takes place, as well as the outputs. The business model, that's what it explains. How value is created and delivered. It also explains indeed what are the inputs, what are the processing that takes place, and what are the outputs. Now, if we take again SAT, what's the business model here? You acquire students from advanced level and etc. And then you process them. And yes, here we are in the process. That means we teach you and we have assessments. Then we have the output. What's the output? Graduates. Graduates of SC. So that's how business model. So what we try to do is we try to add value. We create value and add value and deliver value to you. Right. So you'll be valuable graduates. Isn't it? Valuable graduates. Recognized graduates. Now with the degree and without the degree, if there's no difference, there's no value. Is it the case? Don't think so. That graduates have a very good recognition. And even one lecturer is a product of that. Who is that? One prominent graduate is teaching you. Who is that? Desha, who is one of my students as well. Like you were studying. With both undergraduate level as well as masters. He did our masters as well as Java. Very nice graduate teaching. So likewise, value could be added. And here we do it as a service product. So that's the business model. So when it comes to business model, it tells how value is created, added, and delivered. You can see we also use this term, this canvas, the BMC canvas, the business model canvas. Now come and tell me, now this is a poster, one-page poster that will tell how this value is created and delivered in a business. Now count and tell me, in this poster, how many elements are there? Elements here. Oh. Okay, we'll be able to This is a one-page document. In one-page document, you have to explain the entire business model. How many elements are there? Elements के पे ना? Elements के फुट पे? 5. ठीक है? How many elements are there? 9 elements are. 9 elements are. Now in our human body, how many elements are there? Lot of elements are there. Starting from head, eyes, like that, we have a lot of elements in our human body. So are all equally important? In the human body, what's the most important one? Most important element? I would say it's the brain. You can have all other organs, but if you don't have the brain properly, then no use. Likewise, of course, there are different, quantity, but all organs are important indeed. But the most important one would be the brain or the heart or something else. But for politicians, what's the most important one? At least the former one. What was the most important? Tongue. For us, it's not so important. It's important to survive one. But for them, it's the only target. Tongue. Whatever target in the one. To somehow fill their stomachs as well as accounts is what they expect, what they were expecting. But now the current regime is thinking otherwise, and we wish that they will do a good job. That's how we share it. I don't know what they are doing, but again, otherwise do they correct? Without hunger, right? I don't know how many people of it Korea here without මට බැරිුණා ඊමේල් එක දාන්න කියලා ඉන්න කියලා. Just joking. Government is doing a good job there, at least to see how many monkeys are there, how many other creatures are there, and to try to have a control over it. Within accounting, what we say is without counting, you cannot control it. That's why we do in accounting. therefore, I hope that the monkey count or whatever the other wildlife count will fine. And we'll see the outcome very soon. Whoever correctly given now, right. Okay. Now tell me, okay, in a human body, the brain would be the most important organ indeed. But when it comes to a business model, you told that there are 9. Right? Can you tell me what's the most important? Can you tell me what's the most important? There are 9 elements. I'll tell you what are the 9 elements. It's examples. Of course. Then I'll ask you to apply that self. And then maybe a presentation. But we'll see what we have to do. We lost some time today. I was expecting to have assessment, but we lost almost 30 to 40 minutes. I don't know how we can balance that. Maybe we'll see. Right. What's the most important? In the human body, I would say the most important element is what? Brain. Brain is the most important organ for me. Because without the brain, I don't know how we can, how we can function properly. And what I value is only that. I don't value any other thing from a human than the brain. The person has to be trained. Not, it's very hard to understand and deal with people. I find because some people are not using their brains properly, it's very hard to deal with them. They don't understand each other and they are rude, they are sometimes misunderstanding. A lot of other issues take place because of the brain capacity, limitations to brain capacity. But if you have a good brain with high capacity, you can understand others and you can then be kind of having empathy, as well as you can deliver a good service. That's what I do. Brain and heart. That's the key for me for everything. Right. Now we have 9 elements. What are the 9 elements? You have key partners of a system, key activities of it. There's a value proposition, customer relationship, customer segments, then channels, how you deliver that, then revenue stream, cost structure. Let me take an example and think through this. What are these 9 elements? Let's take our beloved Uber. What's Uber? The Uber taxi service. You all know what's Uber. So let's take Uber for an example. In Uber, what's the key activity? What Uber does? What's the key activity? It connects drivers and riders. That's the key. It is a simple job. Right? Through its app, it connects whom? The riders and drivers. It's a very simple thing to me. But very complex when it comes to operationalization. But that's what they do. And then it navigates, it helps us to navigate. And of course, there are a lot of other things that are to be, including me. So that's the key activity. Then what's the value proposition? What makes Uber unique? There are other services, local taxi services. Even there's the pick-me, not even pick-me, let's not take pick-me because it's a direct substitute. So let's take the taxis that we see, the trucks are there, the 3-wheelers are there, you can take anytime. So why Uber is so unique? What's the unique value proposition of Uber? Why do you use Uber? I use Uber for a very particular reason. Here's that. What's that? Trust. For each driver, there's what? A score. Right? A score from what? 1 to 5. I usually don't ride an Uber taxi which is below 4.7. If it's below 4.7, I cut it. Something's wrong with that. Particularly girls, females, be extremely careful. First thing, when you book a ride, check what? That's what I never take a freewheel or something like that from, particularly from these areas. I don't trust it, particularly in these areas. Because in these areas, you will never know who is there. But if it is Uber taxi, I will take that. Why? Because there is a rating, right, at least on books. So that's there, which is not available, not with me, with me, not in other terms. Right? What's that? The rating. The other one is what? You can order Uber taxis anytime. Anytime you can order. And there is a wide variety of vehicles that you can order. And almost anytime the vehicles are available, particularly in these areas, in Colombo, Western Province, particularly. Likewise, there are several advantages, several unique value that I cannot get from some other service. And I don't need to know that person to ask that person to come. And the rating is there. So I have trust as well. So that's the unique value they provide. Anytime you can order and they will be there on time. And of course, it will show what? Before even you order, it will show what? The cost. The fee will be shown. Earlier, I was very afraid to get tax and other kind of taxi service. Why? They tell whatever they want. That's the thing. And we cannot dispute. Dispute so we cannot dispute. Right? But in Uber, you don't need to do that. There's dispute resolution as well as you can have a safe ride. But always look at what? The rate. For female students, particularly be careful. Sometimes I tried my luck with certain drivers who had less than 4.7 rating. Indeed, they were awesome. Some people not over. And as soon as I get into the Uber, they are blaming Uber. Uber is never going to buy Uber. But I'm asking the simple question: what? If you don't want, then de-stop. That who asked you to do? Who asked you to use Uber? Complete complaint, and they are blaming Uber and etc. But some, of course, the ratings, of course, below 4. And some people are very reckless drivers. They are going extremely fast, and also they are taking turns that are not in the map. They are not following the route. I don't think so. Right? I don't advise anyone to use the method. Automatically, they will be removed from the system. We got by our feet. So that's the unique value. Uber service, Uber taxi service is because Uber does not own a single taxi. What it does is it connects third-party drivers with third-party riders. That's all what it is. But it provides a unique, extremely unique, and an extremely valuable service. So that's the unique value proposition of Uber that other taxis are not providing. So that's unique value proposition. Then customer relationship, they maintain customer relationship through their app. Of course, there's a nice, so they use it to attract customers, retain customers, as well as grow their customers. And they do their marketing as well for that. And they provide commissions and other things they provide. Then customer segments, particularly they have their two customers for them, who are the two customer segments, riders and drivers. Both are their customers. Drivers and customers, riders. Because they are connected, they are middlemen. There's a channel, how they deliver their service? Through their app. They deliver their service. Channel means how they deliver the service. Through their app. Their revenue stream, what's their revenue? How they get revenue? Commission. They get a commission and then they retain the commission and they pay the drivers. That's how the commission income is there. Sure. That's how they earn money. Okay, that's the particularly revenue side. Value proposition, customer relationship, customer segments, channels, and revenue stream are the revenue side. So how many activities are there in terms of revenue side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements out of 9 are revenue side. 5 elements. Right, revenue side. Starting from value proposition. Then the other side is the activity and the cost side. So you can see their key activity. Again, I am coming to the first one. Key activity. What's their key activity? To connect riders and drivers. To connect drivers and riders. That's their key activity. Then what's their key resource? What's the key resource of Uber? Their platform. Uber platform, the Uber app, the Uber servers are their key resources. And their employees, although in financial reporting, in financial accounting, we don't account for employees, but indeed they are main resource as well. And another main resource might be their what? Brand. Uber. Uber has a great brand. So those are their key resources. Who are their key partners? They have two key partners, again the drivers and the riders. They are the key partners. And also technological providers. Even the internet, local internet providers are also their partners. Because without internet, you cannot function. Uber cannot function. Then the cost structure, they have their fixed cost as well as variable cost. They have their fixed cost as well as variable cost. They have to pay their employees, they have to pay their rent, and they might pay for depreciation of the Uber head office, etc. So that's the cost structure. Fixed cost and variable. How do you know what are the 9 elements? 5 elements for the revenue side, 4 elements for the activity and cost side. Now tell me, out of these 9 elements, what's the most important one for a business? Yes. Most important? It's okay. Yes. But okay, you can make a mistake, there is no important. Most important. So all are important. So most important. But the second. Thank you. Just make a different business, but for a business, the most important one is the unique value proposition. So if you don't have a unique value, there's no business. Value का देने वाला business है. Customer saying that unique value you have to provide a unique value. So that's what Porter was telling by differentiation. Porter was telling that there are 2 main strategies. One is differentiation, the other one is what? Cost leadership. So Uber provides a unique value, which I told you. It gives a trust score, a rating for the drivers, as well as for the customers. You don't know what's your rating, but they give a rating for the customer also. How do I know that? Yes, I should. Because I'm not riding an Uber, mommy the Uber. But just without me, that Uber. But yes, they provide that rating for the drivers. Particularly, that's what most important. And also, it's a very convenient service. You can order anytime on the dates there. And it shows the cost in advance. No one can dispute after that. And the route is short, and you can exactly bring them without giving instructions. You can bring the taxi to your doorstep. without giving instructions. I could remember when Uber was not there. For last 20 years, I'm using these taxi services. My God, those days, the hated part in hailing a taxi is what? Giving instructions how to come. And then the next hated part is what? Payment. Dispute handling disputes in payment. Sometimes they take whatever they think that's focusing there. So meter they do whatever they want to charge. So likewise, but now in Uber, as well as in Picking also have those services as it is. So it's a direct substitute. Right. So that's the most important. What's the most important element of the system? The unique value property. What's the value property? Right. Now let me ask for SAT. For SAT, what's the unique value property? Now SAT is also a business, in fact. We call that a social enterprise. We don't call it a profit-making entity. Of course, it's not at all the intention of SAT to make profits, right, which I explained to you yesterday as well. So I could remember in one board meeting, I'm a member of the board of study. In one board meeting, there was a discussion. The discussion was one member who was an outside member, who is also sitting in other private university boards, was telling why the fee of this degree of applied economy is so low compared to the other degree. But giving an excellent degree, a unique value degree, a high value degree is given, but at a quite low price compared to the same degree provided by some other private campus. So he was proposing what? To increase the fee. He was saying the senior degree they are charging about 3 million. So why not we charge 3? But then no. Then the vice president, who is the chair of that committee, explained the reason. He told, Srilanka offers this degree not to make money, not to make profits. This we consider as a social service to the government. We cannot provide it free, indeed, because there's a cost involved, and we ensure the quality. Because we are not funded by the government, it's self-funded. We have to do the revenue generation, not like public universities. Public universities, the treasury funds that. So we have to fund that, but we are not going to make money off it. So I was fascinated of that explanation, and I do agree with that explanation. Because not I'm part of the faculty, because I'm an external faculty member. Right? I'm an external lecturer, but I really like that. I really like it. So at SAT, what's the unique value proposition? Why did you come here? That's the reason we need value proposition. Why did you come? That's why. You this is offer for me. No one else could claim that right. Your CSC is what? The national premier standard setting body. Economic community standards shall be set by anyone in this country. Only this CSC could do. So this degree is offered by who? And also, this degree is provided of very high quality. Indeed, because I know that very well, because I was involved in some other private universities and I know what kind of quality is there. I'm not going to name very much. But again, I know what kind of quality assurance is taken here. They update the degree programs and try to do their level. So that's the reason, and that's the unique value proposition of SAT. Right. Then, customer segments. We don't call customer segments. For student segments. For the student segments, we have postgraduate students as well as undergraduate students. Customer segments. And we have different degrees now. We have what? Degree of applied accounting students as well as we have data analytics degree students as well. In the future, we are going to add more degree programs as well. Then we have the postgraduate students. As well, it is called what? The MBA, the business school. is also coming under that. So those are the customer segments. And what are the channels? How the service is provided? Physically as well as online. Yesterday we had a physical lecture, one online lecture, and today we have a physical. So you can see how it's being balanced. Then also, customer relationships, how we maintain customer relationships, right? Through our communication medium, we maintain with you all, with emails and a lot of other communication medium. We try to attract, retain, and grow our students, right? Marketing purpose, for marketing purpose as well. Then revenue stream, post fees. Post fees would be the revenue stream. Then key activities, what's the key activity? You register students, deliver lectures, have assessments, and then provide the visiting. That's the key activity. Then what are the key resources? What's the main resource here? The buildings? No. What are the key resources? The lecturers and of course the buildings and a lot of other things. Students are the customers, not the keys. What's internally considered as the assets. Then key partners, who are key partners? The visiting lecturers and the IT infrastructure providers, utility providers, and others who provide the services to staff to continue this properly. Even Microsoft is part of that. Why? But that's how teams, if the teams have platform spots, then I get. Then cost structure, we have fixed cost as well as variable cost. We have fixed cost as well as variable cost. So that's how we apply. Now I took two examples and explained the BMC. What are the two examples? One, Uber. The second one is what? Right. Okay. I can get a small break, isn't it? Somebody break your car. I cannot say that, but we'll have a short break. Now it's already 4:48. At 5, please come and let's go after that. Then I'm showing you the arm of break. Where I will one. Without but let's see. Okay. How about 5? Oh, yeah. Like this. This thing I take. Of course, I do understand. Again, 5 minutes away. The day like Welcome back. And yeah, the people just take attendance. We have an online attendance system. Oh, I got it. We'll mark the attendance, but when all are there, isn't it? Comfort. You will take attendance. So shall we start order? You are watching. Oh, I get it. Right. From where? 15 to 18. 15 to 18. Today is a higher.
Session successful updated. That's good. Now the QR code.
One is Sarah Taylor. Mathonan. Done. Sir, I will have a physical. Be my guest. Please take attendance. All five. Attendance got that. You can take it. So the next round is going on. So if you have not taken
The QR code. The QR code is on. Good luck.
So, and then they need to some people physical, then some people you have to take it manually. Nice experience. Digital business strategy. Okay, right. Okay. So I don't think we have time for an assessment, right? Indeed. Okay. But next day we'll devote some time for the assessments, right? And I can see that it's for some people it might be not convenient. So what next week? On the physical level, we will do a comparative assessment. Right. Let's say if I don't do, but subject that I have the full 3 hours. What I'm going to question because I got the time after 8. That is what we say. Right. Right. Now, I'll be teaching you. If you have a website, how to make money out of it. So please take up this topic. Revenue model. Revenue model. Revenue model. Revenue model. This example. Revenue model. And indeed, I'm going to teach you everything. But again, first, as I do usually, I ask you to tell me what are they. Then let me take an example and teach. For revenue models, you can see there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 revenue models. There are 8 revenue models. And now, please tell me, right? You can use again AI, ChatGPT, whatever, right? Of course. And tell me what are these revenue models. You can see this is how a website could make money out of advertising. A website could make money out of advertising. 8 ways. The first one you can see subscription access to content. And then the second one is pay-per-view content access. Then CPN, CPC, sponsorship, affiliate revenue, subscriber data, and access to customer for it. Likewise, there are 8 ways that you can make money out of a website and out of your customers by advertising in your website. These are 8 ways of making money from a website through advertising. These are advertisement, different ways that you can use advertising and then earn revenue. What are I'll give you about 5 minutes. Please go through AI or whatever, ChatGPT or whatever it is, and tell me what are these one by one. Subscription access to content, like there are 8. Please go through this and tell me what are these. Then I'll take an example and I'll explain this. These revenue models. Again, a target examination question. One revenue models. Target question. What are these revenue models? Just check that in that you can see. Ask it to provide an example. What's up, man? Oh, my God. Okay, what are these models? There are 8. This is how you could allow your website and be advertised by others, and how you could make money. First one is subscription to access to content. What are there are 8. These are all advertising models that you will use. Huh? Okay, let's start manually. So there are 8 advertising revenue models. What I'm asking for, just try to understand the dynamic for myself. Target question at the exam, and then I work out some examples also. Exam immediately. Thank you. 8 models. Right. What are these eight? Greek one. What are these ones? Okay. So let's take the first one. Subscription to access to content. What do you mean by it? Is a way that you can make money. You have, of course, content. So what's this? Example. Very good example, Netflix. Right? So here what happens is, for a period, you get access to the content. The best example is Netflix. You pay a subscription, let's say for 6 months, you can watch any movie, access to content. Any movie in Netflix website. Newspapers also work same. You can pay for 6 months subscription and you can view any newspaper during the 6 months. Unlimited access. Right? That's for what? Subscription to access to content. You pay a subscription to get access to movies, to documents, to newspapers, to articles, etc. You pay per month, for paper period. Month, 6 months, 1 year, annual subscription, and you get access, isn't it? So the best example is Netflix. Any other examples? Spotify? Amazon Prime? Yeah, likewise. So good example. So for that period, you get access, isn't it? To articles, to movies, to content. For a period. Subscription for good period. Maybe monthly, biannually, quarterly, or annually. Or even sometimes lifetime access. Now I have got access. So there's an app called Calm, CALM, which is a meditation app. Not meditation related to any religious affinity. It's psychological, right? It's based on psychology, mindfulness, etc., etc. So it's Calm, CALM. I got lifetime edition. So I got access to all contents there, free of charge. Then also, I got 1 year access to another website called MindWeb, which again has great psychological programs to enhance the psychological ability to be more calm and also to have a sharp mind, to enhance your capabilities. So there are certain apps for that. So you can get monthly access, biannual access, or annual access. But on the other hand, what do you mean by pay per view content access? We'll ask another student. Exactly. Now you pay one by one. Now let's say you go to Amazon and you buy a book. So do you get access to all books during that period? No, only you get one book. You download it. You go to Dallas. And you, let's say, download a movie, I don't know. Or you download some digital content. But you pay only for it. It's only for that. Maybe you can download only that content. and you pay for it. That's called pay per view content access. You pay to view that particular item. Subscription access, for a period, you get access, unlimited access to all content. Like Netflix. But in Amazon, when you pay for a book, that's all you pay. Did you understand this much? These two private models. Subscription access versus one item that will download. Then there is another revenue model which is called CPM, display advertising. CPM stands for cost per mil. Right? Cost per mile, mil. Cost per mil. Cost per mil. CPM. Cost per mil. CPM. CPM. Cost per mil. CPM. CPM is also cost per mil. It's ILLE, cost per mil. CPC stands for? CPC stands for cost per click. So what's that? Cost per mil and yes, AdSense, Google Ads. How does it say? How does it work? Now, let me take an example. And explain what is CPC and CPA. Try to understand that once, right? First and for all. Because I am cost per click here. What's cost per mil and cost per click? We try to understand. Let me take an example. So let's go to websites like www.dailymedia.in. This is another website. What is what's dailymedia.in? What's dailymedia.in? It's a news website. Dailymedia.in is what? Please visit. Dailymedia.in is what? A news website. Now, for an example, it says what? Breaking news. CRD questions Tennapo's family image search. Who's Tennapo? Deshapantu Tennapo. Former police chief. The police is searching for the police chief. And his boss. So they have a question who? His family members, his wife and his children. And what his wife had told? I read the story, so I'm asking you. He doesn't know. Right? He doesn't know. Now, same one. Who is same one? No. Not you. No, several days, she was got to be found, what they did? They took her parents as well as siblings, where? To the custody. And the reason is what? Because she is not there. They took the parents, so for that, this lady will be coming to protect or to salvage her parents. But she never came. So it seems she is there. Where is Ishara Devas? Not here. Where is Ishara Devas? Probably in India. Or somewhere. Not in Sri. But then they took into custody her parents and etc. One sibling was really involved in making that book, their sister was in. But then the wife was not taken into custody. Why? That's how things work, isn't it? But maybe she's not involved at all. Right. Likewise, these are news websites. These are news websites operated by Vijay Newspaper. Now, there's a section here. If you browse, there's a section here. You go down. This website. So it says e-papers are there. E-papers are there. So you can access to Lanka Deepa, Sunday Lanka Deepa, Sunday Times, Daily FT, others. Likewise, you can access those newspapers. The physical versions are there. The online versions of physical papers is there. For that, you can pay an annual subscription and access this newspaper. What's that for? What's that for? Subscription based. It's not that you can download only one newspaper. It's like for 6 months, you can access any newspaper or subscribe to it. But here there's no paper click or paper view content. Only one you pay and you download. No, it's not what you get. But then you have another model. Look at here. So they want to break fast. I go also. Yes. Right. Okay. So they want to break first, and I also need to break first. But again, I'm not fasting. I'm not ready. For being not well, I'm being allowed not to fast. These poor guys are there from morning 4:30 or something. Right. Now let me teach you what's the paper clip and CBC and CPL. Listen very carefully and once for all, please try to understand. Like you can see here, there's an advertisement from this particular organization. Information from technology. Now, this website is owned by who? Vijay Newspaper. And the website is known as dailymedia.in. Dailymedia.in. Right? This is dailymedia.in. Okay? And these are website owned by Vijay Newspaper. Now they are advertising Informatic Institute of Technology. Can you see that? So, are they affiliated with Daily Mirror? Informatic Institute? No. It's a third party who is advertising in dailymirror.lk. Why? Because dailymirror.lk is a very famous website for news. There are about millions of viewers who would come and visit dailymirror. So that's why this particular organization, Informatic Institute of Technology, is advertising in Daily Mirror. Is it free? No. Informatic Institute of Technology will have to pay Daily Mirror, isn't it? For what? For advertising in Daily Mirror website. So how they are going to charge? How Daily Mirror is going to charge whom? Informatic Institute of Technology. That's an education problem. And also you can see BYD. BYD, that's a brand name, is again advertising in Daily Mirror. So BYD is not owned by Daily Mirror, but they have allowed BYD to advertise. But BYD will have to pay what? Advertising fees. Oh, Daily Mirror. It's not free. So then there are two ways they could charge. Daily Mirror could charge, right? Information Technology Institute as well as BYD. And there are other places like us, where Tesla V, that's a property developer, buying group. And like that, there are other advertisements also. Let's stick with IIT, Informatic Institute of Technology. Now, how Daily Mirror could charge IIT? There are two ways they could charge. One, CPM. The other one is CPC. CPM means what? Cost per mil. Cost per mil means based on the number of customers who visit Daily Mirror, they will charge IIT. Right? So cost per mil means usually what they say is per 1,000 viewers, they will charge $20. So usually mil means here per 1,000. Per 1,000. So per 1,000, they will charge IIT, Information Technology Institute, how much? 20. Now, 1,000 people might come to Daily Mirror and they are going to charge $20 each from whom? IIT. That's called cost per mil. Now, let's say there are 10,000 viewers who view this website, who came to this website. How much they will charge IIT? If it's 1,000 to 20, then for 10,000, how much? $200. They will charge IIT $200 if there were 10,000 customers, 10,000 viewers who came to Daily Mirror. It's based on number of views, number of visitors who came to Daily Mirror. Right? Is it clear? Based on the number of visitors who come to the website, you are charging the advertising. In this case, it's IIT. So they might have told cost per mil is 20. So cost per mil 20 means per 1,000 they are charging $20 from the advertiser. So the advertiser is whom? The advertisee is basically IIT, Information Technology Institute. So cost per mil is that. But cost per click is quite different from that. The next one is, this is CPM. The next one is what? CPC. In CPC, you cannot charge based on just viewers. You will charge based on the clicks. The viewer will have to come to Daily Mirror and they will have to click this advertisement. They will have to click that advertisement. Based on the clicks, they will say, okay, we will charge $30. For 1,000 clicks, we are going to charge $30. So that's cost per click. Cost per mil means it display advertising. Just it will display, and per viewers of that particular website, Daily Mirror, it will charge okay $20. Even they might not view that, they might not click on that, not view, they might have viewed that, and they might have clicked on it. Right? They might not have clicked on that, they might have just visited the website. Based on the number of visitors, under CPM, you will be charging the advertiser. IIT will be charged based on, okay, 1,000 visitors, we are going to charge you $20. Right? Cost per click means But the viewers who come to Daily Mirror will have to click on this particular advertisement and go to the website of the advertiser. Based on that, they are going to charge the advertiser. That's the difference between cost per mille display advertising and cost per click advertising. Is it clear? Is it the same? No. Now, usually when you go to a website, there are advertisements. Do you click on that? I usually never click on it. Right? I think it's waste of time. But I daily or every 2 hours time I visit this website because it's a news website which has updated news. Because I don't have a television at my home. I don't wish to have one as well. Because why? Televisions are all of what? Negative what? Information. So I get my news fix from these websites. I have a few websites that I visit to update myself. Without updating, you cannot live. Isn't it? You need to be updated to live in this world. Not you will be shocked. So I have some news sellers, that means emote, likewise, from some news places that are news broadcasting media places. So likewise, I am keeping tabs to get updated. Because you never know now, there might be some kind of curfew in somewhere, I don't know, who knows? Not now, of course. Right. So I think now you have understood the difference between cost per mille display advertising and cost per click advertising, is it? So that's the difference. So it can be for this prime group. So they are selling a land. This is not again owned by whom? Let's say for an example, the newspapers, and they are going to charge prime group, right, for advertising this property, this particular apartment complex. Say if they are going to charge, okay, they are going to charge $40 per clicks, 4,000 clicks. Then what's that? CPC or CPM? CPC. Cost per click. Right? So this is usually given in thousands. Right? For 1,000 clicks, for 1,000 views, what would be the charge? So is that clear? So that's the difference between CPM display. It's only display and you charge the advertising. Here CPC advertising, it's cost per click advertising. Okay. Right. I think that's enough for today. I'll teach you the rest next week. So thank you everyone. Before that's all. Glad to see you all. Take care. We'll be online after that.